with two guys that I served with, Richard Yetto and Bob Whedon.
This is for my brother Chip Clark and Buddy Sanderson and Salman Kuso. Robbie was killed on a fire bases attack, and the other two in a bunker complex with the NVAs. Rest in peace, brothers.
I'd like to remember Cliff Breuer, who was my squad leader. He was killed 28th of February, 1969, second tour. He was a big brother to me and a big loss to our nation. Also an individual that I got to meet, his name was Adolf Kreuzenbacher, Austria. He served with me in a Marine CAG unit. And he stepped on a bouncing Betty mine and died instantly. He came to Vietnam as an enlisted Marine. He didn't have to. He enlisted because he wanted to help the people. And he died doing what he really enjoyed doing, helping the people.
Yes, my name's Stan Parton, and as many of you know, I got to join the mess over there in '68 as a combat medic. So I had the thrill of seeing many of my friends go down, and more than I can still believe. And then last week when Mark said, try to come up with one of your good friends that you want to honor. I said, how the heck am I going to do that? I got a list of a dozen good friends that all went down in and around me. I ended up patching them up or bagging them and tagging them. And I did come up with three guys that I guess were my closest. And after a while, as you all know, you got away from being friends too much with the new guys coming in. It just wasn't worth it. But in my case, my friend Jack Downs, and he's actually from up here in Tujunga. I didn't know where Tujunga was at the time, but we used to talk about it. And Bob Kirshner was from Pennsylvania, and they both went down at the same time up on point when we jumped into Quezon to help the Marines out and just went into a real mess. They went down with, both of them had headshots, and it was a mess. But I guess my closest friend ended up being a guy named Dwayne Helton, and he grew up down in Dayton, Ohio, and we were from the same, I grew up in Northeast Ohio, so we used to sit around and talk a lot about Ohio and how nice it was going to be to get back. And he said, yeah, when we get back, he said, I've got a really nice sister I'm going to introduce you to. Well, unfortunately, somebody next to him tripped a mine one day and blew him in half, so he wasn't able to make it. He was still alive for a while, so it kept him alive, but he put him on the helicopter and he didn't make it at all. But those three guys, I guess, were my best friends, if there is such a thing.
I here in remembrance of Michael Joseph Pedro, Cherville, Indiana. Kid worked for me on my crew back in Indiana when we were building power lines. He was 19 years old and just firstly deployed to Vietnam. The Army took away his typewriter and gave him a machine gun. He lasted 30 minutes later. Thank you.
Chuck Giambetti. I'd like to remember a very close high school friend of mine. His name is Larry Vernon Lake. Larry joined the Army right out of high school, and he died on October 6, 1965 in a firefight. Real close buddies, and definitely miss him a lot.
My name is Ed Romero, Ventura, California. I'm here to remember a little 17-year-old lad who grew up next door to me with his family. He was on 2 days, 5 days after his 17th birthday. It was Kenny Appleton. God bless you, Kenny.
I'm Malcolm Kirby, and I'd like to remember my friend Larry Delois. Grew up with him, and he was in the 173rd Airborne. He had a month to go. He took the wire in Darlock, and I try to see him every year on the wall. The interesting thing is, every now and then he comes to me in a dream. And I remember saying to him a few times, "Larry, you're still 18.
I'm Steve Hall. I'd like to remember and honor two of my fellow security policemen from the Min 2 Air Base, Gary Metcalf and Millard Lehman. And I'd also like to remember a local guy that grew up in Santa Ana. His name is Dick Russell.
Plaza, 1960-79. Fire and Spear of also on the track team, 1962. And Tex Elner, who I first knew in 3rd grade at Tennessee High School. It was a shock, and I think I was 49. So,
I'm Roland Marchand. I served in Vietnam, Marine Corps, 67, 68. I lost my good high school buddy and childhood friend, Ted Wymuth, who was killed May 16th, 1968. He was in the Marines too. Thanks.
My name's Joe Hill. I was wounded on March 5th, 1968 in Quang Tree during the Tet. I was lucky. I was one of the first to get wounded in our outfit while I was in the hospital in Japan. I learned that 70% of my group was killed and the rest of them were either wounded or they got away without anything. So I'd like to remember all those, because the names are so long that I'd like to remember all those in 1st Battalion, 3rd Marines.
In remembrance, this night, 1/2 century later, I commemorate one of the fallen. My childhood pal, it was my Tonto, my Pancho, the sidekick to my Don Quixote. That's my Marine, my friend. We played, Eddie and I, war games in our youth. We played dead. No one died. Growing up and going into our respective services, the Marine Sergeant, the Army Grunt. I came home in an olive duffel, he a black bag. We were all means in some way or another by our service. My friend's spirit lies atop some ignominious hill in now. Fine artillery spot. My spirit soars just to carry on. The fallen forgotten warriors, numbering 57,000 and counting, are immortalized on that black wall. Highlighted letters, embossing and immortalizing those names impossible. Not enough of a fitting tribute. Here now at this roundabout, walked in a moment of time. We honor and relieve these banners, the sparkling red, white, black, and blue. From the elements of this good night, we are here as well, casting light on the spirit of those that have served us well, your countries, sons and daughters. Diary we all carry in our hearts is replete with the memory that this land was forged by those many souls gone before, draped in old glory. In this land of the free, never forget your oath to the Constitution, that from said document, you have a voice, you have a vote, you are armed, if you can keep it. Freedom must be earned. And be ever mindful that U.S. stands for us. Remember, America is an idea. It is for us now to continue the dream. Liberty, forever. God bless the USA. May we now remember my Marine Sergeant, Eddie Courteau. Thank you.
My pilot, Bruce Eaton, and I went down 3 times in Vietnam. 4th time, I wasn't with him. My friend, Bruce. We still have time. If anyone out there wants to remember, please, please, please come up. I made this time, let's do it.
Yeah, thank you. My name is Al Harvard, and I was a company commander in the 25th Infantry Division in 1969.
Like that.
And didn't expect this. I lost, I graduated from OCS in '65 in October as a young second lieutenant, and I lucked out and I was able to get a variety of jobs, and I went over as a captain in Vietnam in '69. But 5 of my classmates did not. They went over as forward of artillery observers, the very thing we were trained to do. And unfortunately, well, a lot of them went over, we lost 5 of them. But of significant interest in the system of OCS, we had the layer system where you had
a brother and a big brother and a big brother that took care of you. And my big brother was set back into our class, and he became a contemporary of mine. His name was Fred Bragg. He got set back because of academics, and it's a thing that happens frequently in OCS. But what didn't happen frequently was that he died in Vietnam, and then at our reunions, which is every year in May, he was awarded the Distinguished Service Cross, which is a significant event because it's one down from the Medal of Honor. And I just wanted to, I never had a chance to say thanks to these 5 guys. I've seen them on the wall too many times. So thank you for that opportunity. My friend is March 17, 1968. His name is Edward Allen DeVore. We grew up together from school to high school. The citation is back there. He was awarded the Medal of Honor for saving his entire life.
One up. Please don't be shy. We've waited, some of us have waited 45, 50 years just to say, remember this guy.
Yeah, everybody knows me around here. I'm the loudmouth.
Second motion.
I had a friend that he was in elementary school with me, and we just, how should I put it, is that we went to like a little red brick schoolhouse, 3-room red brick schoolhouse in Pennsylvania. So, I was in country about 3 weeks, and I was looking at the Stars and Stripes, and I seen a little town that nobody really knows about. It's called Connellsville, Pennsylvania. And I looked in there and I seen Connellsville, and I looked over and it said Kenneth B. Bryan Cruiser, July 7th, 1967, and I think I'll always remember that. And it must have been about 5 years ago. I went back to Pennsylvania for the first time in 46 years. I was looking for my cousin's grave that had passed away from Agent Orange. And Kenny was buried in the same cemetery. And I didn't know exactly where my cousin was. But something kept pulling me over to the left. And so I went over, and I kept going over, and I just, like, right there I stopped, and I looked down, and it said, Kevin Bryan Cruiser, July 7th, 1967, I'm sorry. So I had beads for Vietnam vets, and so I hid some beads down under his face so nobody would ever steal them or whatever. Even though I know nobody would, but the thing is that I just wanted to make sure, but Kenny was trying to tell me to come and see him, so I did get to see him, so I wanted to come up and recognize him tonight and tell him I miss him, I love him, and thank you for your sacrifice to our country. Thank you, Kenny. I'm
David Kolsinski, and I would just like to remember the guy that I went to the YMCA and Y camp with back when we were kids, James Boone in Racine, Wisconsin. Hello, yes, my name is Jerry Bayless, and I just want to remember a very dear friend of mine, Air Force Tech Sergeant Kevin Edwards. Okay, he died in 1968 in Vietnam, and we were neighbors at Patrick Air Force Base in Florida, and he had 6 months to go for retirement, and he got orders to go to Vietnam, and on the way over, the plane was shot down and lost it, and he was also the godfather of my first son. Ladies and gentlemen, in combat, the combat soldier didn't have time to grieve. While you're sitting there looking at the man beside you, the bad guys were trying to get you. I've lost more guys, their names I don't remember, but I remember their faces. But the irony of war is in death, we have to find humor, and it's not like in the movies you see. And I think the humor of it, in my case, was our mothers. A lot of us remember our mothers. When I went to Vietnam, I was raised by my aunt because my mother died when I was young. So my cousin and I went to Vietnam together. Her words to us before we went was, if anything happens to you boys and you don't help each other, I'm going to be pissed off. Mom. We got hit, my cousin and I together, along with 13 other guys. My legs on one side of the road, my kneecaps far away, my jawbones gone. My cousin gets down there, he's holding the arteries in my neck. Needless to say, I did die twice that day, but I'm still here. He saved my life. His last words that I remember before I passed out was, boy, is mother gonna be pissed.
Certainly, I do. Anybody know the Lee Teeter painting with the soldier at the wall, placing his hand on the wall and his battle buddies? That's the reflection. That was actually given to me at my first duty assignment as a farewell gift, and I take it everywhere I go. It's a very, very moving piece. It's the first time while I was in the military where something really touched me to the core. I wanted to come up and take this opportunity right now to say real quick, Mark has invited me on this little adventure in May. We've talked about it a few times, this run for the wall. And what I'm doing is I'm writing in honor of Vietnam vets in our local community. And just hearing all these people talking about their battle buddies, I want to put it out there that I am taking small letters, trinkets, anything you want brought over to the wall for your battle buddies. Please let me know afterwards. If you haven't gone there and got the name charcoal rub off the wall of your friends, your family members, please let me know. I'd be honored if I can bring that back to you. I bought a new bike with saddlebags on it, so I've got a little bit more room left. So, and that too. So please see me afterwards if you've never been to the wall to get the name rub, or if you'd like a letter or something brought over to the wall for you.
You don't see our bugler? Don't tell me that. So 1 week I didn't bring the bugle with me. It's sitting in the garage. Spring break. Spring break. Okay, I'll take a couple seconds here. Thank you for showing up tonight. Thank you for attending this. I hope it was as meaningful for all you folks as it was for me. I noticed that those that we lost back then are just as real today as they were 45, 50 years ago. It's like you haven't lost a step. It's still important to keep these guys in your mind. We have to remember the fallen, because it is for them that we are here, and we have to carry on. I'm going to say one thing I didn't say last week. My wife's got her quilt over here. If you haven't signed it yet for your particular operation, please get over there and sign it. She's getting near the end right now. And the last thing I'm going to remind is March 30th, or I wouldn't even say anything, is California High School in Whittier. Sunday, March 30th, they do a complete Welcome Home Vietnam Veterans Days from 11 to 3 o'clock. They've been doing it now for 7-8 years that I am aware of. So let's have closing prayer. And the okay, Bob, get some help. If you're a Vietnam vet and you do not have Vietnam beads, Bob's got about 50 of them that he has spent a whole bunch of time doing. And if you'd like some, take them. All right, so just grab him as he walks by. All right, closing prayer and the national anthem.
What about the cake over there, Mark?
What did I forget?
Cake?
Oh, yeah. All right, I bought 2 cakes this week.
Yeah.
Yeah, please, get over here and eat this cake, or I'm leaving it here for somebody. But there's 2 huge cakes. They say, welcome home, Vietnam veterans. For anybody in attendance, there's all kinds of plates and all kinds of forks. Please, 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 come over and have a bite of cake. And as you're doing it,
well, this is a group from Orange High School. This is part of our concert choir and chamber singers. We're headed to Washington, D.C. and to New York tomorrow. We're actually leaving tomorrow. And this group has been very supportive of us, and we want to be back and to have support for you. We were supposed to sing at the World War II Memorial, and they moved us to the Lincoln Memorial, but we're still going to sing the same music. So first thing we're going to do is called God Bless America. We want you to sing with us as we go along here. We'll see if we can make the sounds all happen. Here we go.
God bless America, and as I love, stand beside her and guide her through the night with the light from above, from the mountains to the prairies, to the oceans, white with foam.
To salute our armed forces, so make it known where you're from when we get there.
Over hill, over dale, we will hit.
Stanley, stand up.
Those caissons go rolling along. In and out, rhythm shouts. Mountain marching all about, and those caissons go rolling along. For it's high, high in the field artillery. Count down your numbers, loud and start. 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. And wherever you go, you will always know that those caissons go rolling along. Anchors away, my boy. stripes and bright stars through the perilous fights. For the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air. It grew through the night as our flag was still there. Those sleigh bells and star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Wow.
Again. Please join me in a pledge of allegiance to our flag. Ready? Begin.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Before y'all run off, please grab a piece of cake. If you have a signed quilt, do that. Detail, tent, cut, present, armed. Order, arms.
Buck, get in here. Ready? Ready? Oh. Detail dismissed. Welcome home. Welcome home, Vietnam vets.
Did Sid make it? Did Sid make it? Sid make it, yeah. Because Sid told me last week.
First time all wind blowing down.
You were there.